You see the moon? It's almost a full moon tonight. Let's make our way up here. Up to the hike. I think there's a lacrosse game going on there. Marymount University trades here. Let's go up here and see what we can see as the sun is setting over Arlington, Virginia. Over there is Ronald Reagan National Airport. That's the airport, the limited airport. You can only fly in the United States, and then generally not that far, like Houston area. There's a few other restrictions. A few big planes come in there, but not many. These are the train tracks for Amtrak and freight, and the VRE, the Virginia Railway Express. What else can we see over here today? Off in the distance is the Defense Intelligence Agency. That's the military CIA. And that is Anacostia Bowling Air Force and Navy Base. That's where Marine One is kept, just on the other side of the Potomac. This is just a little pond here. Here comes a plane out of National. Trains right now. It's kind of a bummer. There's a guy walking the train tracks though. He's talking to himself. There's actually a YouTuber who's a hobo. If we still use that term, hobo, guy who rides on the trains. Yeah, so he's like a professional hobo. Over here on my right is the Pentagon. It's just over the freeway. We can only see the top of the Pentagon. In the distance is the Air Force Memorial. So that's points. The plane on 9/11 hit on this side of the Pentagon, kind of away from us right now. It's my kids' soccer team down there. They're practicing on Boeing Field. In the background you see the Boeing headquarters for Washington D.C. That's not, of course, Boeing's corporate headquarters. And this field and the fields over there at Longbridge are called Boeing Field because Boeing paid the Park Service, the Arlington Parks people, about $10 million for the naming rights. $10 million. Why? Because every plane that comes into Reagan National flies over this field, and every guy coming in and looks out the window, he sees the Boeing logo on these soccer fields. And gives them a warm, fuzzy feeling. We've got a train coming. Don't know what kind it is. Could be a commuter train. Could be an Amtrak. Could be a freight train. I think it's a commuter train. Let's just hang loose. I always think of Iggy Pop whenever I'm watching a train go by, from the movie Trainspotting, which had almost nothing to do with trains. But had a lot to do with Iggy Pop. I got a last for life. What do we got? It's not going fast. I'm thinking it's freight. If it's a freight train, it's going to be long. The kids, get out of my camera. It is a freight train, I think. It looks like a coal train. CSX. 1, 2, 3 engines. 20, 21. You still counting? So this train didn't actually go under the Capitol. This train came just to the south of the Capitol. There's a bunch of railroad lines south of the Capitol that make their way over the Anacostia River. And then from that side they go up towards Baltimore. So, not really sure where this coal is going or coming from. Pennsylvania coal, probably. Making its way down to one of the power plants near here. This is a long train. We might see a midway engine, an engine halfway between. Oh, can you guys, oh, U.S. Capitol, you can't see it from here. Now let's just walk with the train, yeah? Otherwise we'll be here forever and I'm not going to get my sandwich. Because let's face it, that's what this is all about, getting a sandwich. I miss the innocence of my children's youth when they were fascinated by trains. Yeah? That's all it took. It's like, you guys want to beat each other up? No, let's just watch a video about trains on YouTube. Yay! Of course, growing up in Asia, my kids grew up with Shinkansen, Japanese bullet trains. That was the thing they loved to watch. That's the little toys that we bought. We didn't buy Thomas. Well, we did buy Thomas the tank engine. But we also bought Shinkansen bullet trains. And we're coming to the end of the train. You guys still counting the cars? And I got Iggy Pop in my head. I got a lust for life. Here comes Johnny in again with a liquor and go. No more cabooses. Oh well. So as I was saying, my kids grew up in Asia, so our train phase, and I guess every kid has a train phase, was heavily influenced by Asian, Japanese Shinkansen trains. So once we went to Tokyo, I actually splurged and we stayed at the Four Seasons Maruchi, which is right next to Tokyo Station. And I specifically asked the clerks, I said, could I please have a window overlooking the train station? Oh my God, that was better than TV. Every 90 seconds, a Shinkansen pulled out of the station. Literally, like every 90 seconds, there was a train going by. And the kids were just in heaven. They looked outside. They were calling out the trains. It's an N700. No, it's an S5 or whatever. What's the new one? N5 or what? R5, R6? So many letters. But they knew all of it, all the different Japanese trains. Hong Kong didn't really have very many trains. Hong Kong had a subway system that was really nice, but not a lot of railroads. We had trains that would come down from mainland China. Those were kind of interesting. One time we had a soccer tournament in Guangzhou, China, which is about an hour-and-a-half train ride from Hong Kong. So we literally took over 2 cars on this train. One car was all the coaches and the parents, and the other car was all the kids. And the waitress, the trolley person, she was from China. And she came through our car and she was serving like cup noodles and soda and chips, Then she opens the door to the kids' car. And we just heard her scream in Chinese, "Oh my God!" Basically the equivalent of that. The kids were literally like swinging off the luggage rack, jumping up and down the chairs, and she's just like, there's monkeys in this car, crazy, So we had to send some parents with her to calm the kids down. That was a fun time. That was an away game in Asia, taking a train up to Guangzhou. So this area is known as Crystal City. And this is where Amazon is building their new corporate headquarters. In fact, I think it's right over there. There's a big hole in the ground. And that's where they're building the new HQ2 Amazon headquarters. Looks like doing some track maintenance. I still have my model trains from when I was a kid, but I haven't pulled them out for the kids because I don't think my kids would like them. The Boeing Field at Long Ridge Park. So we're going to walk down here. There's a few restaurants down here, including a Jimmy John's. There goes another plane. Can you see it? Yeah. So for those of you who like all my videos because sometimes there's politics, let me just tell you there's probably going to be zero politics at all in this video because we're out in the suburbs. There are no congressmen, no presidential staff. This is just government offices. And these are like, I think the patent and trademark office is down here. But these are generally, a lot of these are military. The military rents a lot of this office space. So, and now Amazon's going to compete for the office space. So this is Arlington, Virginia. This is just across the river from Washington, D.C. The Pentagon, as I mentioned, is behind me. The airport's over to my left, Reagan National Airport. You can get from the White House to the Reagan National Airport if there's no traffic in like 5 minutes. I mean, 5 or 10 minutes tops. It's really a convenient airport. But if you're trying to go to the West Coast, like California or even like Colorado, you generally have to fly out of Dulles Airport or Baltimore, Washington, which have bigger runways. Reagan is kind of limited to like 737 type aircraft, generally between here and Houston. In part, that's actually a economic decision. To improve the value of Dulles Airport, they limited the size of planes that could come into Reagan Airport. Most people still call it National Airport. A lot of DC people didn't like Reagan, so they used the old name, which was National. And I think most people would still say National rather than Reagan. Most of the old school Washingtonian types. But I think Reagan, people just say Reagan, and more people. The hard thing though, especially for cabbies, guys jump in a taxi and they say, "Take me to the airport." And they're like, "Which airport?" They're like, "You know, the airport." And they end up taking them to Reagan. They get to Reagan and find out, "Oh, you need to be at Dulles," or "Oh, you need to be at Baltimore." This happens every single day. Someone shows up at the airport and it's the wrong airport. Well, you know, life's tough. I actually had a flight once that landed in Baltimore, which is about a 45-minute drive from here. But then it had a layover of 45 minutes, and then I had to fly to Dulles. And I'm just like, why can't I just get out of Baltimore? Then your ticket would be more expensive because you were flying to Baltimore rather than to Dulles. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? They're like, that's how our ticketing works. So I said, okay. So I just went ahead and did carry-on only luggage and just got off at Baltimore and never got back on. It's like, come on, stop with that. Now, once or twice, I've actually flown from Philly. Normally, like when I'm going overseas, I'll go from Dulles, but sometimes Dulles is just too expensive or too crowded, or I couldn't get the right flight. So, and going up to New York is a pain. So sometimes I'll fly out of Philly, which is about a 2-hour drive from here. So I'll drive up to Philly, park my car, and fly. Except the last time I flew Philly to London, we come back from London, and the pilot is like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats at all times until being instructed to get up out of your seat." I'm like, what the hell? So the plane lands, the door opens, and this SWAT team gets on. Like 6 heavily armed SWAT guys. They go back in the coach, they grab this dude, and then they escort him off the plane. And then the pilot's like, "You are now free to move about the cabin." It was like, whoa. So this guy's been on the plane for like the last 8 hours with us? That's a little like, thanks a lot, I guess. This was this is about a year after 9/11. Kind of spooky. Morton's Steakhouse. Isn't that a chain? Oh no, I gotta make noise now, blah, 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 because otherwise YouTube is gonna blow up my thing. YouTube is gonna take over my stupid audio. Actually, maybe, you know what? I could just turn the microphone off. Maybe, I don't know if I could do that. It's so annoying. So, remember, at the 16:30 mark, I've got to block out the audio because there was some song being played. That's how YouTube works. If I have like 10 seconds of that audio on my thing, boom, they claim all the revenue. It's like, yeah, I know you're a small guy, and we're gonna cater to the big record companies. Ugh, so annoying. Lots of buildings being built. So I had to kind of blackmail my kid to get him to come to soccer tonight. He wanted to stay home and play video games. I said, no, you should go to soccer because it's like 55 degrees tonight. And I said, your next practice next week, it's going to be like snowing probably. So everybody walking the dog. My kids really want a dog. They've been begging for a dog. Problem is, well, first we're going overseas this summer. The second thing is, I know if I get a dog, it's going to be my dog in like 5 years. When the kids go off to college, they're like, "Oh, Dad, can you take care of the dog?" It's like, yep. So I'm going to end up being the dog, having a dog. And it's just like, oh. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe when we get back from Hong Kong. Maybe when we get back, we'll surprise the kids with a puppy. We got another block or so until we get to Jimmy John's. Interesting side note, I actually grew up in the town where Jimmy John's was created. So the first sub I ever had was made by the founder of Jimmy John's, who's now a billionaire. Okay? I used to go over to Jimmy John's, and he was like 22 years old, college kid or whatever like that. And he used to make subs. And I remember he used to have a Schwinn Latour bicycle, because I worked at a bicycle shop that was like a block away, and he'd bring his bike over for us to fix. And he rode this bike a lot. And then he bought a red Corvette. The sandwich business was very, very good to him. He bought a Corvette. And then I remember I went off to the University of Illinois, and I saw him up there. He was opened a shop at the University of Illinois. I said, "Business good?" He said, yeah, we're doing all right. Then I read a few years later he opened one in Chicago. Then he started franchising across the country, and now there are thousands of Jimmy John's sub shops all over the country. And I think I read they just sold the entire company for several $1 billion to some food giant a couple of years ago, about a year or two ago. But at one time, the founder of Jimmy John's, he was making my subs. I actually like the subs here. The other subs I like are Blimpies. But I don't know what happened to Blimpies. There was a Blimpies at the University of Illinois I used to go to all the time. But I don't know if it's still a chain. Let's see what we got over here. We got Lockheed Martin. That building there is Lockheed Martin. This building here is Bell, which I think is Bell Helicopter, but I thought they got bought by someone. Maybe there's another Bell. Is Bell part of McDonnell Douglas now? I don't even know. I'm not keeping up on my military industrial complex like I used to. Bell Textron, is that who that is? Maybe that does look like a helicopter logo. Who's over here? NCB, that's some other boring group. So yeah, it's Deloitte. So even if these aren't government employees, these are private companies servicing government employees. I'm gonna have just enough time to get this sandwich and get back to my kid. What we got over there? We got a Thai place, we got a Chick-fil-A, Cold Stone, Sweet Green. Sweet Green is a chain that started in Georgetown. It's kind of like fast food, healthy food. And now they've got branches all over D.C., branches in New York. I think I read in the New York Times, they're valued at like $1.2 billion right now. This little chain of healthy food, fast food that started in Georgetown is now like $1 billion company. Hell, I'm still excited if I win $5 in the lottery. Aim high. I gotta aim higher. Crystal City. I don't know why they call it Crystal City. Oh, I know a lot of you guys are really fascinated with tunnels. Crystal City is full of tunnels. A lot of these buildings are all interconnected and then connected to the subway. In fact, my friends looked at renting an apartment here, and the landlord was like, you never have to go outside. You can connect by tunnels to all the subways and all the restaurants and other buildings. So I don't really know. Somebody once made a map, but this area is definitely filled with tunnels, pedestrian tunnels. Even I think they have I think they actually have like stores underground. Yeah. There's one of the underground parking garages to get to the retail shops. Truth be told, I don't really spend much time out here except for my kid's soccer game. I should rent a scooter on the way home. Get hit by a biker. Here it comes. Who are these? These are skips. I don't know if I have the Skip app. I don't think I have the Skip app. I usually use Lyft. I use Uber scooters. Uber, because DC government limits the speed of scooters to 10 miles an hour. The scooters can actually do like 15 to 18 miles an hour. They're technically capable of doing that. But the government made them limited. But Uber being Uber, they just basically changed the odometer reading or the speedometer reading. So it said 10 miles an hour, even though you're probably doing like 15 miles an hour. So I generally like to ride the Ubers. They're just a bit faster. All right, so I don't freak out the dudes here. I'm going to put the camera in my pocket. Yeah. And hopefully it continues to film me ordering a sub without putting people into some sort of like tizzy. So the camera's in my coat pocket now. It's this dude. I see this dude all the time. Okay, so for reasons unknown but actually convenient, the camera shut down. You see that they had like rock and roll music playing in there, and if I have that rock and roll on my YouTube video, well, I lose all the copyright problems. So anyway, the fact that it disconnected, it's not really the end of the world. Now, let's get back to our kid before he has to go to his game, finish his game. It's just a practice, it's not really a game. Crystal Drive and 23rd Street South. Which one's going to turn green first? Both? Neither? That one. They're not going to hit a dog, but they might hit me. I'll let her go. These lights are, there we go, green light. All right, so we got to make our way back to the field. About a 20-minute walk, I think. My throat was a little dry, and soda helps. And let's make our way down this road. Oh, why am I on camera there? Oh, it's because I was like grabbing my hat. Oh, sounds like some fire trucks coming. Definitely sounds like big fire trucks. Yes, there they are. Oh, it's gonna get loud, guys. And that's cool because fire trucks are cool. Fire trucks, trains, helicopters. I really am a 7-year-old. 7-year-old trapped in a body, half a century older-ish, almost. Oh, they got the horn going. I really am just a big kid. Yeah. They were booking. They really were hammering there. We live next to a fire station in D.C. The firemen have a general policy that, like, at nighttime and stuff, they try to keep it down unless they absolutely have to, like, hit the siren or the horn. So generally we don't hear them. Like the other night there was that huge fire, and that was actually in our neighborhood. It was our battalion 5 of the DC Fire Department that went to respond to it. So all the trucks went flying past our house, but we didn't hear a thing. Because after like 9 or 10 o'clock, they go on like friendly neighbor status and try not to wake anybody up. Though sometimes you do. Sometimes they can't help it. It's funny, our first night in Washington, D.C., we all slept, everything got delivered, like the beds just got dumped in one room, and the kids were nervous. We're like, okay, you know what, let's just all sleep in this room tonight, yeah? Like, yeah, that'd be great, Dad, thanks. So we all crashed in one bedroom, and at 6 in the morning, we start to hear this noise outside. The CIA took control of my mind. The CIA is trying to control you. The CIA wants me to eat you. It's just like this crazy woman going on and on about the CIA. My kids wake up. They're like, what is it, Dad? What is it? And I'm like, welcome to America. This was literally our first night sleeping in Washington, D.C. We had this crazy woman outside railing about the CIA mind control practices. And I'm just like, yeah, kids, that's life in America. That's life in a big city. Now, she hasn't come back. We haven't actually, I don't know what happened to her. I was expecting to hear like her screaming on a regular basis. But generally our neighborhood's pretty good. Except for the carjackings and the robberies and the other stuff. Ah. There's so many big holes in the ground. I think Amazon's got their eyes on all these holes. It's like we're going to build a big building. Need another drink. Maybe we'll see another train. That would be kind of cool. There's a big bus. Oh wow. So that bus is coming from Tyson's Corner. That's a big shopping area. No, this is Homeland Security Police. It used to be known as the Federal Protective Service. And their job was to protect all like government buildings that are not like a big security thing, like the Department of the Interior or the Social Security Administration. FPS, Federal Protective Services, provides police services for those buildings. The Pentagon has their own police, and of course the White House and Capitol have their own police. But all the other little government agencies use the GSAs. There used to be a GSA, now I guess it's Homeland Security's Federal Protective Services. So you see these like icicle lights? These are very common in China. I mean, you'll go through like an area where there's like a whole block of these lights. Oh, there's a train coming, I'm gonna miss it. Bummer. Well, maybe not. Maybe we can get over somewhere to see the train. Oh, it could be stopping. Can I get up high on this fountain? Look down on the train? There is a train stop here, Crystal City stop. Oh crap, this isn't a staircase. This is a fountain. We're gonna miss this train, guys. Bummer. Well, there is a train back there. Oh, I can see it. It is a VRE, the Virginia Commuter train. These are double deckers. And that's the train station right there. Virginia Railway Express. Engine's right up here. Train is like empty. It's like nobody in the train. Going to Fredericksburg. Seriously, like there's like nobody in this train. Empty, oh, entire upper deck empty. One person, 2, 3. So on the upper deck we counted 3 people. Ugh. Okay, whoa. Alright, so we got that train. I'm going to title this video Embracing My 7-year-old Self or something. My inner child. It's interesting. You guys have been watching my videos for a while now. This is actually what my life is really like. I just film like me having normal walking around kind of stuff. I mean, since everything's gotten a bit crazy in Washington, I've been walking around the Capitol and White House. But generally this is really what I do. Just walk around, get a sandwich, get lunch, and occasionally interesting things happen. I'm now actually followed by a number of like Washington Post local news type people, and I talked to him. I said, why are you following me? I mean, I post about Hong Kong and stuff. He's like, well, you're always out on the street and you sometimes see stuff that we don't. I'm like, yeah, that's true. So they follow me. I'm like, okay. All right, I don't know what time it is. I think my kid is almost done with soccer. Let's check the watch. Okay, we got 13 minutes. 13 minutes to get back to the car, eat the sandwich. Should be good. That is Amazon, I know that. That big, you see all those sky cranes over there, guys? It's like the land of sky cranes over there. Those big blue sky cranes are building the new Amazon headquarters. But Amazon's going to take up a lot of the other buildings too. But that's where their big new spaceship is going to be. And it is like, well, I'll see if I can find a picture and put it over this. Because it is a really crazy looking building. Kind of like the Gherkin in London, if you've ever seen the Gherkin. So the record at soccer practice was 5 trains. 5 trains in 90 minutes. That was my record. It was a busy day. Oh, these are condos. Those look like condos too. We're literally like, what is the Pentagon? You're like 3 stops from downtown D.C. by subway here. So actual train time to around the Chinatown or something is like 10 minutes. Not even that. So it's pretty convenient here. In fact, the Washington Monument is just off in the distance. Don't know if you can see it though. There's a dog coming. I'll get out of the way of the dog. Nope. That's the cool thing. Now dogs have these LED lights and they all like glow in the dark dogs. So you can see them at night. LED lights are really cool. I mean, like bicycles now should all have LEDs so you can see them. There's a bunch of inflatable mushrooms over there. I'm not joking. It looks kind of weird. No, I'm not seeing something. There really are a bunch of inflatable mushrooms over by the building. We'll go over there. Unless there's another train coming. You know what? I think there is a train coming. Maybe we'll kick here for a second. We'll go see the inflatable mushrooms in just a second, because there could be another train coming. That or it's just the way the light is reflecting off the fence. No? I think there is a train coming. I know you wanted to see the inflatable mushrooms. The kid wants to see the inflatable mushrooms. Inflatable and illuminated mushrooms. Yep. There is another train coming. I don't think it would be VRE because we just saw a VRE train go by, so maybe it's an Amtrak on its way to Richmond or something. Another freight would be surprising because we just saw a freight train. Yeah. He's coming. Just wait here, yeah? Drink our soda. It's moving kind of slow. I'm thinking freight train. The U.S. Capitol is over there. I don't know if you can see it through the trees, but the Capitol building is just sticking out. They must be in session. The light's on at the top of the Capitol dome. That means that one of the chambers is in session, House or the Senate. This guy's off on the far track. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe, oh, you know what this might be? This might not be a train. This might be a service vehicle. Yeah. I don't know. It sounds loud. This is like Close Encounters, man. Oh, it sounds like a train. It's a freight. Yeah, it's a train. Oh, it's a VRE. No? Yep. Manassas. So this train is going to Manassas, where the Battle of Bull Run took place. That's outside of D.C. about a half hour. It's actually directly to the west, but the train has to go to the south and then make its way out. No, is there another train coming? I wanted to go see the mushrooms. Let's go see the mushrooms. It really does look like there's another train coming. I gotta double check the clock too. Hang on. I can't. I gotta go get the kid. I'm sorry, no mushrooms for you. Maybe I'll convince the kid to drive by on the way out and we'll take a picture of the mushrooms. But right now I gotta get back. This soccer practice is ending shortly. And there is another train coming. I swear there's another train coming. What would that be, 4? Oh, 4 trains. That could be a record. Like I said, I'm really just a 7-year-old. Oh, we got trains and fire trucks. We saw the new Marine One earlier today, the VH-92. That was kind of cool. I'm not sure if this train is coming or just the way that fence is lit up at night. It's the horn of the train that just passed. There are 3 tracks here. I'm not sure if all 3 are in use. Whoa. The hell's that? Fireworks? Did you hear that? Or a backfiring motorcycle. I think it's a backfiring car. This thing is a motorcycle that backfired. Wow, that was really boom, 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 boom. Oh, I know what it could be. Judging from all these geese flying, it could be the anti-bird cannons they have at National to disperse the birds from the runway. I think they might even have those at the Pentagon because they have a heliport at the Pentagon. There's not another train coming. No more trains. So this is Boeing Field. Like I was saying at the beginning of the broadcast, Boeing paid $10 million US for the naming rights of this field. They have the Boeing logo very prominently displayed in the grass or AstroTurf. You can see it when your plane lands at National Airport. So basically everybody that's flying over to the Pentagon looks down and sees Boeing. Oh, little kid, let's put the camera this way. I try to avoid showing little kids on camera. My kid's over there somewhere, playing soccer. Well, there's the Washington Monument off in the distance. The big stick, as my kids call it. And the Pentagon just over on the other side of this field. You know what, guys? I think this is a good enough place as any to stop. Hey, thank you for walking with me tonight. Like I said, it was kind of boring. Yeah, sorry, but that's life sometimes. It can't all be excitement and energy. Sometimes you just got to go get a sandwich. All right, thanks again. See you soon. Bye-bye. What are those things? So that big hole over there with those big cranes up in the air, that's where the new Amazon headquarters is going to go. It's going to look really funky. It's going to look like the Gherkin in London, you know, that big onion-shaped building in London. It's going to look like that.